Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims 4 info/thoughts video. So you can believe it, we got another leak regarding a possible cats and dogs expansion pack in the future. And yes, I specifically said cats and dogs on purpose. I'll get to horses and small pets later on in the video and what I think is going on with them. But we got another leak regarding cats and dogs because there's some animation codes that were found in the latest patch by modder Twisted Mexican. Not a whole lot was found this time, but we now know that cats and dogs can walk on top of certain objects. These include counters, bars, fridge, tables, and beds. I didn't really see anything interesting here at first, but I noticed that fridge is one of the objects, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure, that cats and dogs have not been able to walk on fridges in the past games. And with fridges, sometimes they can be tall enough that they almost reach the ceiling, so I find that kind of interesting that they would allow pets to do that, because maybe there will be clipping issues with certain fridges, and certain heights too. I actually haven't really paid much attention to whether all the fridges in the game now are exactly the same height, but then maybe there'd be issues if, at least in the future, they would have planned to do fridges of certain heights, and then, well, they can't, because then they'd have to go through the extra effort of making sure that the pets work with them. I mean, with the mini fridges, if they bring those back, that's obvious, because mini fridges are a very different height, not just a slightly different height. But yeah, overall it's kind of interesting that they're going to the lengths of allowing cats and dogs to be on top of fridges. The pictures should be interesting. So one other thing of interest that I have to point out here is that, well, new code was found for cats and dogs, but what about horses and small pets? With horses, well, I think the chances have gone way up for them to be in their own game pack or expansion pack. And, well, I've already talked about it at length quite a bit in the past, but basically, I actually wouldn't mind too much if horses got their own game pack or expansion pack, as long as it's well done. Because while initially I was like, oh no, Maxis, I feel so betrayed, how could you do this to us, etc, etc. Once I actually thought about it a bit more, I was like, well, the game packs have actually been really good so far in my opinion. Probably the best thing about The Sims 4. And, well, if horses get an opportunity to be done much better than they were in The Sims 3 and be less glitchy and all that and not walk backwards, then yeah, then that's great. Then I'm all for it. The only part that I really hate about it is, well, then we probably have to wait even longer for horses to come back, unless they actually do time the release of this game pack so that it does come out either shortly before or shortly after. I think probably after, though. I don't think they would release horses before cats and dogs, but as long as the release window is pretty close to a cats and dogs expansion pack, then it wouldn't be too bad. One other thing to consider is the inclusion of unicorns, because if horses got their own game pack, then maybe the unicorns could actually be done better too. Maybe even include Pegasi and Alicorns if they really wanted to go that far. But yeah, I don't know, they could put in some different kind of a cult, if they put in a cult at all, in the Pets expansion. So yeah, if they put a unicorn in the horses game pack, then there's definitely more room for Maxis to do something different if they do want to put in a cult into a cats and dogs expansion. Either way, I do hope unicorns return, because it is an interesting twist on the usual occults, because usually occults are for human sims, but this is one for a pet instead of a human sim. There is also the issue, of course, of us having to spend more money if we want cats, dogs, and horses, but I think as long as it does result in much better quality for cats, dogs, and horses all around, then that's fine. We're paying more money for a better product. That's just like how it is with other things in life too, so I think that makes sense. Although, when it comes to small pets, I am not going to make that same argument. I suppose now would be an appropriate time as ever to talk about one of the things that appeared on all of those surveys that happened back in February that I'm really hoping aren't real, because one of the ideas is The Sims for small pets. Yeah. This pack basically would combine the ability to run your own pet shop with various small pets. And to that I say, why? Other than making more money by separating things into different packs. But I mean, like, really, like, just put that in the cats and dogs expansion pack. Because, well, I mean, if you're going to put horses in a separate pack, then you definitely have way more room to put more things into a cats and dogs expansion. I mean, they can bring the pet shows back, so hopefully they'll do that, but I think they could still put in pet shops and small pets, right? I don't think it'd be that big a deal, especially since small pets are basically objects anyway. And babies are objects in The Sims 4, so why couldn't they do that for small pets? Separating some things into their own packs can work, for sure. With vampires, in my opinion, yeah, that worked very well in their favor. I think vampires in The Sims 4 are by far the best ones that have ever been done in the Sims series, and if vampires had been included in Get Together or City Living, I don't think that would have been the case. But on the flip side, I think that didn't work very well at all with bowling night stuff. I think that should have been more of a date night stuff pack that could have included a couple more things like a claw machine, old school arcade cabinets, or just some other fun date activity and not just make the focus on bowling. I think that was too narrow a focus, even for a stuff pack. So now we definitely have good examples of things that can work well in their own pack and things that maybe don't really need their own pack, even if they can be given a bit more detail that way, but not necessarily needed. If every little thing got their own pack, well, we'd have a train simulator DLC situation going on. Because, well, if you think The Sims is bad in terms of microtransactions, Train Simulator is far, far worse, and I'm glad The Sims hasn't gotten that bad, at least maybe not yet. And yeah, here's a sampling of it. This isn't even the whole list that I'm showing right here. Pretty crazy stuff. So there are a couple more things I want to talk about before I end this video, so hopefully, this week the next game pack will be announced. We are into the second week of May now, and game packs are announced 2 weeks ahead of their release date. So hopefully it will come out on the 23rd of May. I mean, if they really wanted to make us wait as long as possible, it could come out on the 30th, but they kinda did that with bowling nights, so I hope they don't do that again. I really hope we get this game pack a little bit sooner, especially since last month, apart from the Plant Sim Challenge, which I'll actually talk about in a minute, there wasn't really anything going on. Also, this is a pack that so many of us have been waiting for. I mean, other than pets and seasons, a lot of people want a family-based pack, so the sooner they address this issue, the better. Alright, so with the Plant Sim Challenge, that challenge is now ended. So, my experience with this challenge was kind of odd. I mean, I like that Plant Sims are back, even if they're not, like, fully developed, at least hopefully they will be later. But I did find it weird that I found no Plant Sims walking around my game whatsoever. At least, well, besides the ones that I obtained through cheats, but I didn't see any NPC Plant Sims walking around that I could get those magic beans from. At first, I thought it was more an issue of which world I was playing in, because when the challenge started, I was mostly playing in Windenburg, but then later on, I was going back to my households in Oasis Springs and Willow Creek, and there were no Plant Sims appearing there either, so yeah, that was really weird. So cheats just really saved me there. It's really too bad that's how it happened for me. I mean, I know that wasn't the case for everybody, but yeah, it's just a bummer that, for me, we got another dud of a challenge, I guess. But at least I got Victor here selling the magic beans and the forbidden fruit, so for the future, I'm good. And that wraps up another Sims 4 info/thoughts video. So let me know in the comment section below what you think of the latest pet-related leaks, as well as the Plant Sim challenge, and what are your hopes for the family game pack. Alright, I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!